What?
What's up, everybody? I can't hear you.
There, try it now.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of the POVincent podcast. How's it going?
That was awkward, like a first date right there. That was whoops.
Hey, everybody. So it's Thursday night. That means it's time to talk about movies. I am your host, Vincent Didiano, and of course with me is the human megaphone, Eric Williams. And yes, Eric, I'm going to call you that every damn time, unless I figure out something better. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just had this thought of like my tombstone. It's just like Eric Williams, human megaphone, and then instead of flowers, there's just a bunch of beat up megaphones left like on my grave.
Yeah. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot to go over tonight, so I'm just going to go quick overview.
We got a lot to go over.
Oh, man. So we're going to start off, of course, with the news segment. We're going to talk about a bunch of things, including who's going to be hosting the Oscars this year.
Who's going to be hosting the Oscars, Vincent?
I'll tell you when we get to it.
Oh, man, making me wait. This is like a first date.
It is, a little bit. Anyway, for our middle segment, we're going to be talking about a movie that's been under debate for many years now as to whether or not it qualifies as a Christmas film. And yeah, Eric already figured it out. Yes, I think Eric apparently already knows what I'm talking about.
I'm just glad I'm wearing shoes for this.
Yeah, there you go.
Not at the top of Nakatama Plaza.
And then finally, we're going to do a movie review of a new Netflix movie that came out just a couple weeks ago called The Christmas Chronicles, starring the man, Kurt Russell. But for now, let's get to the news. First news thing we're going to get into, we're going to hold off that little Oscar thing for a bit, but we're going to talk about the second trailer for the Captain Marvel movie finally came out. A lot of people were excited about this. And so for those of you who didn't see the first one, Brie Larson, who won an Academy Award for her performance in the movie Room, is now part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I believe we went over the first trailer earlier, about a couple months ago when I think
we did. That poster's amazing.
It is, yeah. For those of you who aren't watching on the live stream, we have the latest Captain Marvel poster up, and I really do like it. I love the red and blue, how it's going, and then she's got that little bit that yellow aura around her to represent her powers.
Vince, you ever watch Twitch? Are you a Twitch watcher, or do you just like develop a Twitch from time to time, like when you don't get enough Italian food?
Second.
Okay. So Twitch, like a streaming service.
Oh, I know what it is.
There is a lady on Twitch who does these like crazy like live. She paints herself like Avengers characters, another one, and she has done one as like her as Captain America.
Oh.
And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, she's gonna be doing that like in the next month, easy, because the color qualities of that look like. Like, that's just that poster just says, yeah, go ahead, paint me on your skin. I'll look pretty nice. Even if you have alopecia.
But anyway, so in the new trailer, unfortunately, no blockbuster this time. Last time we saw her crash through the roof.
No. No.
In the first trailer, we see her just punch some random old woman on a bus, which is funny. And a lot of people are like, why did she punch an old woman? Well, this one's confirmed that ain't no old woman.
She just really, really did not like the M. Night Shyamalan film, The Visit.
No, she did not. She's like, I must avenge those kids. But anyway, yeah. So we get to see more of Samuel L. Jackson as a young Nick Fury, and Marvel really pushing their de-aging special effects. Because I will never not praise their de-aging special effects. The first time we saw it was in the first Ant-Man movie, where they took Michael Douglas and they de-aged him, and he looked just like himself from the 80s. I was so impressed. I mean, you really had to look hard to look for the CGI
Vincent,
details.
When you find a woman who is as passionate as you are about Marvel's de-aging CGI, that's when you'll get married. That's your Cinderella slipper. That's how you know that a woman is for you. But no, you brought it up before because we
wait, is the slipper made of vibranium? Yes, it is.
No.
No, it's too late. You smiled when I said it.
It's made of Michael Douglas looking like...
don't even need to go any farther than that. I'm just picturing these like fucking Michael Douglas slippers, just looking at me like,
this is what I looked like in Romancing the Stone. If I were a shoe.
oh man, romancing.
I don't know why Michael Douglas sounded like Will Arnett doing Batman there. Also, side note, where does Will Arnett rank in the Batman rankings?
Ooh, well, that's kind of hard because he is, Batman parody character, but
No, he's Batman. He's Lego Batman, but he's Batman.
Why not? But the Lego Batman is more of a parody, but a great Batman. I loved him in Lego Movie. I still liked him in the Lego Batman movie. I didn't like Lego Batman as much as Lego Movie, fortunately.
Okay, the Lego Movie was one of those strange, like, lightning in a bottle type things. It's also something that they were trying to work on for, like, years and years. But, like, the Lego Movie is pretty phenomenal. I know not everyone's going to love it, but it's one of those things that you can look at from weird, like, symbolism and meta angles, but also just as a simple, like, child story. It was fun. It had surprises. The special effects were really, really like that.
No, the animation in that was great. The Lego, and I was one of those people when it was like when the Oscars announced like the nominees for best animated movie of the year, and Lego Movie wasn't in it. I was one of those people like, hold up, you forgot one. There's supposed to be one more movie.
What are their strict rules on animation? Like, for example, the Phantom Toll Booth. Was that an animated film? Or, like, I mean, this before there was even a category. Didn't they make a category, like, basically just... I feel like this is one of those things that I thought, and then I find out that I'm wrong, and then I forget it again. But, like, I just remember that the timing from when they invented the animated Oscar category and the timing for Shrek, it was very suspect.
Yeah. I don't know. All I'll say left of that, because we like to get back to the Captain Marvel trailer, is the year Lego Movie should have been nominated. The movie that won was Big Hero 6. And honestly, I think Big Hero 6 just won because it was a Disney flick. Big Hero 6, not a horrible movie, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I didn't think it was Oscar worthy. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Vincent has thrown his glove.
I'm sorry. It's a likable children's film, but it wasn't. It didn't blow. It was okay. It was fun.
No, honestly, at this point, we don't have it in front of us, but the list of, like, animated Oscars, I mean, like, most years it's, like, Pixar or, like, the guy who did Spirited Away.
Miyazaki?
Yes, yep. I mean, it's normally at, like, that level is normally, like, there's a high standard. And we can pick apart the Oscars all we want, but, man, that animated Oscar category is something special most years.
Anyway, so back to the Captain Marvel trailer. We're getting off subject, as we do here. As we do. Not denying this is anything out of the ordinary. But back to it. So, the trailer continues. We get a little...
she punches this old lady who's not an old lady because she's actually one of the primary alien characters in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know what the old lady's name is. It could be Black Dork or something. I don't know. That could be a legit alien.
It could be Black Dork. I don't know. No, did we figured out that it's either the Krolls or the Skree?
Yeah. No, it's definitely the Skrulls. Remember, in this movie, where there's a war going on between
the Skrulls and the Kree, not the Krolls and the Skree.
The Nick Krolls and the Skree. But anyway, so Captain Marvel, where she was some kind of U.S. fighter pilot, somehow ended up on an alien planet. Was found by the Kree, adopted by them, and transformed into a Kree, or at least a partial Kree, because we see in the trailer that her blood is blue, meaning that there was some kind of genetic alteration. This gave her superpowers, the powers of flight. She can shoot energy beams out of her hands. She's super strong.
She's not someone to fuck with.
No. She basically, and a lot of people have been making these comparisons, even back when the first trailer came out. She's very Dragon Dragon Ball Z-ish. There's even a scene in the trailer where you see her like pump up her energy and there's just this yellow flowing energy aura around her, and it looks like she's going fucking Super Saiyan. As a lot of people have been bringing that up.
Well, as we've pointed out, like she has, without making any sort of explicit anime reference, she has like established that her character is at least as strong as a Super Saiyan because she has made it clear, and no one has disputed her on this. Captain Marvel can move a fucking planet.
Yeah, she said that in an interview a while back. So I'm wondering, is that saying we're going to see that in the movie? Because once again, we have Earth is now the part of the movie that Earth has become a battleground before the two warring alien races, and we've learned through the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. television show that this isn't the first time the Kree have come to Earth and used their DNA to give humans superpowers. And in the case of the current state of the MCU, that would be the Inhumans. Whether or not that will factor into the mutants later once they bring X-Men into the MCU. Oh, excuse me. I don't know, but it's exciting stuff. Now we get to see her in this trailer. We get to see a whole bunch. Like I said, we get to see more Nick Fury. There's this one scene towards the end of the trailer where Nick Fury. There's like this cute random little cat in a hallway, and Nick Fury goes up and like, "Oh, aren't you the cutest little?" Like we see Nick Fury get like all giddy over a little kitty cat. He's scratching like cat. Captain Marvel's like, "Fury, let's go." Like she kind of goes down looking, he's like, And a lot of people were wondering online, is the cat a Skrull in disguise? Like, as it me, because people were wondering, oh, fuck, is this how Fury loses his eye? Just a fucking cat alien scratch his eye out? That's what people are wondering. People are wondering.
People are wondering. They want to know.
They want to know.
They're like, hey, is a cat just going to eat his eye like that?
I don't know. We get a little bit more look at the Skrulls because we really didn't get much of a look at it in the last trailer. The makeup job on them looks great. It's practical effects from that end. I'm sure when you see them morph into like a human form, that'll be all CGI. Nothing surprising about that. But the special effects makeup on them look pretty good for the brief moments, and we've seen photos released months ago of the Skrulls ahead of time. For other than that, honestly, there's really not that much more to talk about in this trailer that I think is worth going over. Except for like Annette Bedding's in it. Apparently, she is a Kree or works for the Kree, and she kind of might be playing a mentor figure to Captain Marvel, because we were going to see flashbacks to her like first becoming Captain Marvel before she even gets back to Earth. Because in case you missed the first trailer, she apparently has amnesia. The only life she currently knows is the life of her as a Kree warrior. She doesn't remember being human, but that's part of going to be the story, is her rediscovering who she is, rediscovering her humanity. And Eric, you were going to say something?
At this point, the freaking Marvel universe is just so loaded with actors. Like Annette Bening. Hopefully she has a better role than Pepper Potts in the films. No, Gwyneth Paltrow is like, it's like, oh, hey, we got an Oscar winner to do this. And similarly with like Natalie Portman's character, it's like, oh, hey, we got an Oscar winner to do this. Like, I'm like, what's Annette Bening gonna do? Like, comb Captain Marvel's hair?
Maybe she gives her the mohawk.
Okay, that would actually be kind of cool. Like,
that's one of the things we see in the film. It's like when she flies in space, she wears like a almost a Star-Lord kind of helmet in terms that it can like zip, zip on and off. You know what I'm talking about? But when the helmet comes on, that's when the mohawk forms. I don't know why they put a mohawk slit on the top of the helmet. I'm not against it. It just looks kind of cool to me. Is that a thing with the Kree? Are they all mohawked? Are they all Gladiator from the Tal Shiar? What the hell's going on? Oh, if Gladiator from the Tal Shiar showed the fuck up.
Wait, so do we want to bet here whether or not Captain Marvel passes the Bechdel test?
What's the Bechdel test?
Vince, I've told you about that before. I think it was like our first episode.
Oh, that was months ago.
Okay, the Bechdel test is a very simple test that most movies fail. And my girlfriend might watch this and correct me if I get this wrong, which I might. But there are basically like three components. Like, are there more than one female characters? Yes. Do those characters have at least one conversation, point 3, that is not about a man?
Yes. It's about war, and so I'm gonna go yes.
Yeah, no. To be clear, if like, and I've discussed this with my girlfriend. I'm pretty sure if say 2 women were like discussing how they were going to kill a man that they had been hired to for an assassin job that like neither of them were dating, I think that would pass the Bechdel test. Specifically when I say it should be a conversation not about like, so are you interested in Tommy? Or like, oh my God, how are things going with you and Vincent? Like, I mean, I know you both just really, really love Marvel's de-aging CGI, but like, you know, what's next for you guys?
I think Captain Marvel's going to do just fine with that test. But anyway, time to move on. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, the new host for the 2019 Academy Awards has been announced, and it is one of the most famous comedians in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Hart is going to be our host this year. So Kevin Hart, like I said, is one of the, if not the biggest stand-up comedian in the world right now. He's done multiple international tours.
He's a big deal, guys. He's a big deal.
Yeah, he's been in movies like Ride Along. What was that?
And Ride Along 2.
Central
Intelligence.
Yeah.
Night School. Other movies.
Yeah. He's in a lot, man.
In a world where Kevin Hart plays the lead role in movies that people go to see. What is Jumanji? No, seriously, what is Jumanji? Like, it's the name of the game, but like, why did they call it that? Is it like, did they ever solve that mystery? In a world where people are like, why did you call it a Ouija board?
These are just answers that that man is not meant to know.
What about women?
I still haven't figured that one out. Oh, can women know? I thought you meant about men figuring out women. Which one did you mean? Did you men figure out women or women figuring out Ouija? Because it's usually the chicks in the Ouija movies that are like...
I meant women figuring out Ouija. Isn't that it? Oh, no, it's not quite what it's called, but there's a Hulu show that's basically like, there's some like game that's like a Ouija board. They like play it, but then they start like dying. Like, I don't know. It's a horror movie thing. I forget what it's called. It's on Hulu. I don't know.
Death by Ouija. But anyway, let's see. According to an article on cinemablend.com, Hart himself made a news official saying, "For years I've been asked if I would ever host the Oscars, and my answer was always the same. I said it would be the opportunity of a lifetime for me as a comedian, and that it will happen when it's supposed to. I am so happy to say that the day has finally come for me to host the Oscars." And it goes on and on. The article is on both our Facebook and Twitter if you want to check it out. So yeah, this is big news. I mean, Kevin Hart is just like, he's like one of the biggest celebrities in the world. And I'm not trying to like kiss this guy's ass right now, but it's just true. Like, he's a household name, whether you're into movies or not, you've heard of Kevin Hart. He's all over the place. He's had some controversies, here and there. He's a
comedian that's had controversies? No.
Yeah.
As long as you're not Paul Rubin or Michael Richards, you normally do okay with those.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't kill yourself, like that's the biggest controversy. What? We're talking about comedians. You know who's not hosting the Oscars this year? Robin Williams.
I miss Robin.
I mean, yeah, but I just, my point, like...
I got you. I just like let you kill yourself. I'm like, what the I wasn't expecting you to go with that in that direction. That's all I'm saying.
Congratulations, Kevin Hart. You get to host the Oscars, and you haven't killed yourself. Keep it up, buddy. You're going places. And they aren't the psych ward or the cemetery. This guy, that did...
Here on the POVincent podcast, we like to keep spirits high. Holy shit.
So yeah, but Kevin Hart is hosting. That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some backlash to people are probably going to say he's going to... I mean, I can already see it coming. I haven't looked anything up. I think it's safe to say there's some people to be like, oh, he's going to ruin it. Like he's
Is
gonna be...
D.L. Hughley still alive?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Why would you prefer DL?
No, it's just like he was like a big deal for a minute, and then like I feel like for a while, and I feel like he's dropped off.
He was on Real Time with Bill Maher not too long ago.
I mean, so was Milo whatever Yinnipus.
Yeah, but at least they told him to fuck off.
Well, no, not on the show.
No, they told him.
No, they didn't.
Well, no, they didn't tell him to fuck. Like he didn't actually leave, but the other people on the panel.
You mean that weren't Bill Maher? I think one dude really went at him hard, and Bill Maher was just like, "Oh, hey, Milo," and then after the appearance, like some people were like, "Oh, hey, like here's some old Milo quotes. How you like him now?" And then people were like, "Oh," and then Bill Maher was like, "Oh, I always say sunshine is the best disinfectant. Yeah. I didn't actually do anything, and I gave him a platform. Luckily, someone else did research."
I actually have there's a clip on YouTube from the Real Time Bill Maher YouTube channel of the panel going off on Milo. I have it saved on my YouTube account. I like to watch it from time to time just to see people's tell
right after I say something really depressing, you're like, "Oh, this will make me feel better."
No, yeah, it is. No, seriously, because I love that. There's one clip where oh man, what's his name? I want to click on it. Hold on, let me. Hold on. I got the volume down. Larry Wilmore told him to fuck off.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Larry, he's fantastic.
And then a former CIA agent, I believe that is Malcolm Nance, told him to go. It was like, I might just be an old spy. And then he just went off on Milo, too. So it was a good time. Telling Milo how much of a piece of shit he is. How can, we're getting so fucking political on here. God damn it. Movies! Fuck. But fuck Milo Yiannopoulos. I don't know what
I would never give him that pleasure.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, we got more to say about Kevin Hart hosting the Oscars?
Yeah, so I feel like some people, might say that he's going to make it too goofy and funny where, the show will, lose its majesty. Because it's the Oscars, there's got to be a little bit of majesty to it. But I don't know. I think Kevin will try to be as respectful as possible. I mean, he's still going to be himself. He's still going to go stage. He's still going to do his type of comedy. I'm interested to see, how he's going to play it. I think he'll be respectful, but, his brand of comedy, he's doesn't usually censor himself, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does in the Oscars. I still think he'll do fine. I'm looking forward to it. As long as it's not like when Anne Hathaway and James Franco. Hey, listen. Here's the problem with I thought Anne Hathaway was fine. It's just James Franco seemed like he was struggling the whole night. She looked like there were moments in the show where she was trying to get compensate. I don't know what it is about James. I don't hate James Franco, but he was struggling that night.
That did not go over well.
Yeah, and then was Ellen the year after that, or am I forgetting somebody?
You might be right. I don't know. I kind of expect Billy Crystal to host the Oscars after he dies. I mean, no, he's, it's actually kind of that they've been, working to bring in some new blood. Because if you look back through the 80s and the 90s, Billy Crystal hosts 5 times. I think Steve Martin does it at least once. Whoopi Goldberg, I think, hosts a couple.
Oh, yeah. No, she definitely has a few.
But, there was a pattern of, going to, people that you're yeah, that person's done it before. Let's hit them up.
Well, yeah, especially when they're very well liked. They did well before,
They're reliable.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Hey, that guy's pretty good. People like him or her.
Uh-huh.
Let's have them on. Yeah. I do weird stuff sometimes.
You sound like a Sesame Street character.
I sound like a Sesame Street character.
But speaking of Sesame Street and Anne Hathaway, on to our next news subject. According to an article on... I'm not even kidding. According to an article on Collider.com, exclusive, Anne Hathaway eyed to star in WB's Sesame Street movie.
WB's making a Sesame Street movie?
Apparently. According to the article, Anne Hathaway is being eyed to star in the Warner Bros. Live action Sesame Street movie, and the Oscar winner is in early talks to take on the role. Jonathan Krizel, Emmy-nominated co-creator of Portlandia, is set to direct the film, which is expected to be a musical. Sean Levy is producing with Michael Aguilar, and Warner Brothers is co-financing the film with MGM. WB exec Jesse Ehrman will oversee the project for the studio, which developed the movie with Sesame Street Workshop, which holds the rights to the beloved children's show. Levy has been working on the project since 2012 when 20th Century Fox held the rights. So, yeah, God, I can't remember the last time we had a Sesame Street movie. What did they only do one, right? Because there's been plenty of Muppet films, but I think...
There's a Sesame Street movie?
Yeah, no, it's the one where Big Bird leaves Sesame Street and then he gets, like, kidnapped or something. It's called, like, Chase That Bird. Isn't it?
Okay, actually, that does sound really familiar.
Yeah. And then he gets, like, ends up in some kind of, towards the third act, he ends up in some kind of circus, but the circus people realize that people are looking for him, so they paint him blue to try to disguise him. I gotta look this up. Wait, was it Chase That Bird or Follow That Bird?
I want to say Follow That. Follow That Bird sounds right.
I want to say, because I always haven't watched it. Follow that. Wait. Oh, yes, you did it. Follow. It is Follow, not Chase. Yeah, 1985. God damn. Such a long time ago. I wasn't even born yet.
I was born that year.
Oh.
I was born because someone needed to follow that bird.
Yeah. Holy crap. According to this date here, my parents didn't even have sex yet to make me. God damn.
What?
I did the math in my head.
I feel like you and your parents have some conversations that are too personal, either that or you're really, really good at math.
Well, no, I was born in November. This came out in August of 85. So, yeah.
You were born in November of 86?
November of 86. So
okay, yeah.
Subtract 9 months, yeah.
Wait, when in November were you born?
November 14th.
I mean, you know that pregnancy is actually much closer, more like 10 months, actually.
Really? I always thought it was 9.
Yeah, it's a common misconception. Like, I believe we can, like, Wikipedia this, but I'm pretty sure it's actually much closer to, like, 9.5 or 10.
Oh. I'm still in there, though.
Well, but see, if it was long, if you were late, then maybe they got in there before midnight. Maybe it was a really, really good New Year's Eve party, Vincent.
Steelers are going to the Super Bowl. Woo! Let's go, baby. That's not what my dad sounds like.
Yeah, I was like, why is your dad a Southern Pittsburgh fan?
I don't know. He was that drunk. No, I did not ask it. I've never asked my parents.
He was so drunk he turned North Carolina.
Yeah. Anyway, all having fun here. I would never in my wildest dreams ever ask my parents about my origin story as a child.
Father, how did I become a sperm? Tell me how the journey began.
Oh,
well, you see, Vincent, one day your mom made some very good garlic bread, and I'm not talking to you about sex anymore.
No. According to the article, the plot is unclear, so we really don't have anything in terms of that. But let's discuss. What would you like to see in a Sesame Street movie, Eric? What do you...
I would like to see Oscar the Grouch find affordable housing.
He moves from the trash can into like a dumpster. It's like, oh, it's so much more spacious. I'm feeling less grouchy. I mean, taxes still suck, so don't worry. That would be funny. I want to see that happen. He moves out of his trash can into like a dumpster, and to him, it's like a fucking condo or something. He's like, this is great. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can actually put my toilet somewhere else except right under me all the time. Oh god, that'd be great. What would I like to see? This is gonna sound really weird. What if we brought like a villain who's like a magical character, and he places a spell on Big Bird, and if they don't get the spell removed off Big Bird, Mr. Snuffleupagus will fade away forever.
Sesame Street starring Harry Potter and Marty McFly? played by Big Bird and Snuffleupagus.
It worked well, but Snuffleupagus is in Big Bird's head. He doesn't really exist.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Mr. Snuffleupagus is his imaginary friend. He's the only one who can fucking see him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm right. I haven't watched Sesame Street since I was a kid, but I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. There's a Robot Chicken sketch that goes over this. I just blew the... oh, God. For those of you not watching the live stream, you should see Eric's face. His face is trying to contain the mindfuck that's going on inside his head right now.
What? Snuffleupagus isn't real in the Sesame Street world?
No.
There is just Big Bird talking to an imaginary bird. Like, this completely changes the whole context of Sesame Street.
For you... Oh my God, I haven't...
Like, no, you just told me that, like, that Snuffleupagus, that Big Bird shows regular symptoms of schizophrenia. The bird may hang out with children, but that bird is at least 15.
Oh, crap. Goddamn. All right, well, then that's the plot, then. I've not seen somebody get mind-fucked over Sesame Street since Ellen DeGeneres found out that Elmo wasn't a guy in a suit. Oh, did you not know that either?
No, I didn't know that. Okay. I didn't know that Ellen got like mind blown about that.
Yeah, no,
that's a puppet, right?
Yes, yeah. A puppet. No, she thought it was a guy. She thought it was like a little midget or a dwarf or whatever the term is now. I don't know. I don't know. Don't hate me. Okay. But yeah, no. Like I remember there was like an old interview where like she's crying. She sheds a tear because it just had some. All right. Before we get on to our middle segment, just want to get a shout out to everybody who's tuned in on the live stream tonight. Mike, Tony, Sheena, Christian, and Tyler. Thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. Really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the show thus far, and I hope the Snuffleupagus thing didn't fuck with you too bad. I only want so many mind fucks associated with a single episode of POVincent, okay? We gotta keep it to maybe 5 max, 5 mind fucks an episode. I don't know. But anyway, time for our middle segment, and we got to talk about something that's been a big debate.
Oh, it's been big. It's been big.
Not only in movies, but for Christmas time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk about whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Now, Eric, I don't think we ever talked about this, so I don't know where you stand. I don't know where you stand. I'm going to say where I stand right here. I do not consider it a Christmas movie. Eric, how do you feel?
I think it's definitely a Christmas movie. In fact, Die Hard. Now, to be clear, because at this point,
I was hoping you thought, because if you didn't, there's nothing to debate about in this segment.
Something happened. I'm not sure how or why, but like in the mid-thousands, like Die Hard became a super, like that became the movie that like people were like, oh yeah, like everyone loved Die Hard. And I don't know if it had something to do with the rights or the amount that had been able to play on television while people were growing up or whatnot. But like also, like Die Hard's a crit. But for years, like I wasn't raised on like The Miracle on 34th Street. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Scrooged, but like aside from Scrooged, for like a decade now, I've been like, oh yeah, like the best Christmas movies are Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Gremlins, and of course, Edward Scissorhands. All great Christmas movies, in my esteemed opinion.
Okay, so you did name some really good Christmas movies there. I watched Scrooge a ton as a kid. Animated stop motion classics, Rudolph, and all those. The mind fuck is infecting me now. No, but yeah, Grinch. You got Dr. Seuss and all that. But and I've grown up watching Die Hard. I can't even begin to try to think how many times I've watched that movie over the course of my life, and it is awesome. It's a great action movie classic, one of the best. But I never considered it a Christmas movie. It's set at Christmas time, but really the movie isn't about Christmas or Jesus, in my opinion. And
first of all, Jesus has nothing to do with Christmas.
Okay, I'm beginning to think the Snuffleupagus thing is a precursor to other information that you were unaware of.
Have you heard of Saturnalia?
Is this the pagan holiday?
Yep.
Yes, I am aware that what we now know is Christmas.
And you know, Constantine, the Roman emperor, yada yada.
Yes, I know. I'm aware that the Christmas that we know today is actually a hodgepodge.
So what I'm getting at is that Jesus is just the Chachi of Christmas. Like he wasn't there initially, but at some point people were like, "Hey, like, how could we convert some viewers?" And they were like, "I know, Scott Baio will do that."
Okay, so are you saying that so what you're saying is I am not allowed to mention Jesus on the holiday that is about his birthday, albeit I give you his actual birthday. They think it's probably sometime in February, but they changed it for whatever reason. Are you saying I'm not allowed to bring up, like, well, I say I'm not even a religious guy. I'm usually the guy who watches the YouTube videos of people making fun of the religious assholes, okay? And I say that because for some reason religious assholes get a lot of attention on YouTube, and I just like to make fun of them. If you're like a cool Christian like Chris Pratt is a cool Christian. I like him. He is. He talks about Jesus a lot. He's cool, but he doesn't like make anyone feel bad, like, you know, some of these jackasses. He's the kind of Christian that people should be like.
What I am saying is the idea that Christmas is about Jesus, or that something that is inherently connected, is just inaccurate, and it can be broken down on a lot of, even when you look at it, like, okay, so it becomes weird, and again, we're talking about a large historical and sociological occurrence, so I'm going to try to throw this together in 90 seconds or less, because you opened up this quagmire of things, but basically,
I'm going to time you.
So you had this holiday, blah, blah, blah. Now we're like, oh, these holidays, Easter, Christmas, they're about Jesus. It's like, okay, if they're about Jesus, where the fuck is the Christmas tree?
Are you really asking me?
I'm asking you. Where does the Christmas tree come from? Where is there a fucking Christmas tree? And what I'm getting at is that Christmas ends up being this weird. What the American holidays end up being is like Peruvian Christianity. And if you go to Peru, which I was fortunate to do that at one point, when the like Spanish Catholics invaded, they were like, you guys are going to make all of this religious art about our religion because we're white, so we're in charge, and that's what God looks like, so you got to make it like looking like that. And the Peruvians were like, okay, because you'll like kill and rape us more if we don't, we'll like do that. But they found a way to protest, and they snuck stuff that was their innate religion, like the Virgin Mary. There's a picture where she's like this, she looks like a mountain. There's a picture of the Last Supper where everyone is eating fucking guinea pig, and Judas looks just like Cortez, or the Spanish invader. Like, my point is to be like, oh, it's like just about. I'm like, it's this weird amalgamation that's like kind of about Christianity and kind of about the original holiday and kind of about corporatism. The point being, this is a movie that's about winter, holiday, and corporatism. Very Christmas.
It's not about.
What are you talking about? They're going on in the Nakatama Plaza, and people pretend to be terrorists in order to rob people so that they can buy Christmas presents. It is clearly a Christmas movie.
You motherfucker.
Well, you never seen anyone ever throw in that fan theory there that the whole reason that Hans Gruber is committing this crime is because he wants to get his brother the greatest Christmas present ever? Which, of course, is why his brother tries to seek vengeance on John McClane in the third film.
You ruined Christmas for us all.
See, he pretends he's seeking vengeance as a cover for the robbery, which is really a cover for the fact that he's really seeking vengeance.
Why do I feel like this from one of those like fucking YouTube videos where like maybe that, you know, like the Joker was really the hero of the Dark Knight? The same shit.
I feel like your face right now is just like your head was blown when I said Snuffleupagus wasn't real, but you're telling me this bullshit?
Oh man, so
Wait, so okay, so what would you? What's a Christmas movie in definition?
there's certain factors in it. Like for one, obviously, if Santa's in the movie, boom, automatic Christmas film for me. And I'm dotted your eyes around like you take it.
Well, no, I was going through a listing. So we have covered, first of all, that Trading Places. So you're saying that Trading Places is a Christmas movie, but Die Hard isn't.
I mean, like, having Santa isn't a definite, like, you need him in there, but if he's in there, it's like having Santa in the movie. I mean the real Santa. I mean, like, it's like St. Nicholas. You know, like how Tim Allen is Santa Claus in the Santa Claus. That's like catching the golden snitch. Automatic, boom, right there. That's a Christmas movie. It has to be about Christmas in some degree or form, like a family's come together for a Christmas dinner, like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Fucking Christmas movie, because they're coming together for Christmas. Clark is trying to put on a great Christmas for everybody, but he's Clark. He keeps fucking up, and Christmas keeps getting worse and worse.
Okay, so Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
But they're...
No, why? Okay, see, when people get into this debate, and because I hear the argument for, like, what a Christmas film is, and people go through that, but, like, and there becomes weird arguments about how you could structure things otherwise, but why is Bruce Willis there?
He's there because he accidentally got an invite to the Christmas Eve party. Yes, I am not denying that. But after that point, the movie has nothing to do with Christmas. The Christmas is just a setup. The rest of the movie is him trying to survive, to save his wife and the other people at the party as he fights terrorists.
But things are difficult because it's set up on Christmas time.
Once again, it's a setting, but it's not. There's no real Christmas themes. There's no.
Similarly, same thing with the second one being set at the airport. The fact, I mean, I get what you said, but the mere fact that it's set up, it's dumb because it's done on a holiday. Like, the fact that it is Christmas is a very relevant setting. Like, I guess the argument that maybe we get into is about if a movie about Christmas has to say that Santa is real, rather, because to me, I'm like, oh no, if a movie, like, I fall with the, like, if a movie takes place around this holiday that people celebrate, then it's a Christmas movie, because Christmas is just this fictional thing that we celebrate to, like, promote corporatism and, like, fight depression and the fact that we'll all die. You know.
Why you gotta go there?
Because I'm honest, Vincent.
I'm not even being honest, but just like I feel like you got a little extra agenda in there. But I mean, I understand if that's how you view Christmas. I'm not faulting you for it. I am not, like I said, I'm not ignorant of the fact that Christmas is an amalgamation of different holidays and aspects.
Also, I like that under your definition, the third Harold and Kumar movie is a Christmas film.
And I never finished the third one, so I don't have an opinion on that one. Well,
they shoot Santa Claus with a shotgun.
Oh yeah, Santa is in that movie. Yeah, that's a Christmas film. Like I said, I'm sorry, if Santa, the real Santa, is in your movie, that's a golden snitch, baby. You catch that? You know, you catch like Harry. You catch.
So Vincent Indiano, Die Hard. Not a Christmas movie. Lethal Weapon, not a Christmas movie. Gremlins, he didn't give his official verdict, but I'm pretty sure he would say not a Christmas movie. But Harold and Kumar 3, I forget the title. It might be like Harold and Kumar Celebrate Christmas or something.
Hold on. Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas.
Everyone.
A very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas.
I guess Christmas is in the title.
Yes.
That probably earns a movie points.
Yeah, it does.
But I mean, so we talk about it as a setting, but again, that setting completely makes a point that helps paint the scene. I mean, we could argue that if you're arguing that Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie, that's actually the same argument that the fucking Christmas Vacation isn't a Christmas movie.
but it's about the family.
Yeah, exactly. It's about a whole family meeting up.
It's a whole movie is about meeting for Christmas.
It's about the whole family meeting up.
For Christmas.
Christmas just happens to be the setting in which they're picked to meet up, just like Christmas is just the setting for the robbery.
Not everything in Die Hard most of Die Hard revolves around him surviving, killing his way to Hans Gruber.
That was set up that they picked to do on Christmas so that the authorities would be less likely. It was all specifically picked for a reason. Like, I mean, you're. I feel like I've just woken the dragon here. I feel like no one's going to change anyone's mind, and I feel like you're kind of to blame.
I got a verbal beatdown on Facebook just the other day because somebody posted like a poll, like, is Die Hard Christmas? I said no. I listed my reasons, and I had like 5 people reply to my comment, and I just was like, okay, I guess I was wrong. I don't think I'm wrong, but you guys can think I'm wrong.
Also, I don't understand how, and again, this comes down to like personal perception and all that, but maybe it's that like I was raised Unitarian Universalist, that I am not like Christian, that I've always been like, actually the whole connection to Christmas and like Christianity does make a lot of sense because Santa, much like Jesus, not real. But Edward Scissorhands is literally a movie about the origin of snow. Like, at the end of the movie, it's like, oh, yeah, there's snow because this dude who just has scissors for hands fucking sculpts ice sculptures up there, like, at the top of the hill, and, like, all the ice, like, that's snow in this weird suburbia world that Tim Burton created.
It would be funny if, they were going to foreclose on Edward Scissorhands' house, and he got a job working on movie sets to make the fake snow. They just
I would watch that sequel.
Like, Edward accidentally, Edward eventually got married, but then he got real angry one day, cut his wife, and now she's divorced him and suing him, and he needs to make up the alimony.
I thought I was the one that made shit dark, Vincent. Like,
mine's semi-based on true events.
Time out. When did Johnny Depp get scissors for fingers? Oh, that's not the part that was true.
No, but he is a steely man. Anyway, okay. I guess we're not going to come to a.
You're wrong, Vincent. You're wrong.
No, I'm the host. I'm right. Anyway.
Wait, so Lethal Weapon, I'm still going with Lethal Weapon, a Christmas movie. Like, in fact, I think you can actually make a better argument there. First of all, and we've discussed this, but I'll make an argument that pretty much any film that Shane Black has worked on is automatically a Christmas movie.
Wait, so The Predator is a Christmas movie?
Okay, no, you mean, correction, no.
That's what I thought. Anyway,
the general list of movies that he's worked on, but still, Lethal Weapon. A core premise is that Mel Gibson's character is dealing with depression and suicidal thoughts, which is a very common thing for many people during the Christmas season. Consistently, hey, Riggs, come over, spend some time with the family. You can't be alone on Christmas. Like, I mean, half the movie is basically just trying to keep Mel Gibson from killing himself on Christmas.
We'll save that debate for next year. Because we have a legit no debate about a Christmas movie to review. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we've reviewed a Netflix movie on the show before, but first time's for everything. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the new movie, The Christmas Chronicles, starring Kurt Russell.
You mean the lead character from Death Proof?
Yes. But anyway, so this...
Careers take funny turns, man.
Yeah. Okay, so this movie stars 2 young actors, Judah Lewis, who I don't think I'm familiar with this kid. Nope, haven't seen him in anything before. Okay, Judah Lewis and Darby Camp playing Teddy and Kate Pierce. They are two siblings who typical stuff. Older brother, he's big. He's a bit of a bully, but he does care about his little sister. Their mother works all the time because their father passed away, and this is the first Christmas without them, so things are kind of on edge. People, everyone's a little emotional. Everyone's missing him, and one night, the little daughter, Kate, decides we should try to see if we could catch Santa, and they do, kind of. But what happens was they kind of surprise Santa. He wrecks his sleigh, loses his bag of toys, and they have to go on an adventure to find his bag of toys, find the reindeer, and repair the sleigh. Only in a few hours. That is the general plot of the film. So, like I said, this movie.
So it's a movie about Santa going senile? He's getting too old to drive the sled. So some kids distract him. He almost ruins Christmas, and then he brings a bunch of kids with him while he's trying to fix it. That just seems like poor judgment making.
Give him a break. He's Saint Nicholas. You gotta let up. You gonna tell me now that saints aren't real? You gonna tell me? I'm not even a very religious man, and I seem to be trying to defend Christianity.
I mean, I don't get me going into the thing about it. It's just a weird. It seems to me like.
Anyway, so eggnog. Do you guys like eggnog? Let us know down in the comments if you like eggnog.
Societal hypocrisy that people are always like, oh, don't talk to strangers, but yeah, leave out cookies and milk so that this guy you don't know will come to your house in the middle of the night through the chimney.
Yeah. That actually does kind of get brought up in the film because at one point, minor spoiler, they have to steal a cart at one point to get from one end of town to the other, and Santa's like, that's not a very good thing to do. And the one kid's like, you sneak into people's houses every year. That's technically breaking the law. And he's like, he says something along the lines like, I don't like to see it that way. That's, but anyway. So let's talk about Santa himself. Let's talk about Kurt Russell as Santa. As always, Kurt Russell, I always like seeing this guy. He's just got a magnetic personality to me. All his performances are fun and entertaining. I actually liked him as Santa in this film.
I feel like he makes a much better dad to Chris Pratt as Santa.
That was like Ego was Santa's evil brother. It's like, you have to give gifts to a whole planet. You have to be an entire planet. Ego's like, it was bullshit. Oh. But anyway, Kurt Russell in this film, he's really great. Through Kurt Russell, like many other films about Santa Claus, builds up its personal Santa mythos, and by that I mean how things are set up. For instance, in this movie, Kurt Russell, he's not fat; he's actually pretty slim for a Santa. And part of the gag in the film is that he keeps on seeing signage all over the place of Santa paintings and whatnot, and people, and he's always like, "Why does everyone always paint me so fat?" That's a thing for him. And so it's like that, those little jokes like that, and he doesn't say ho ho ho. That's another myth. He hates him. People when he by chance, if he happens to bump into somebody, somebody sees him, they ask him to say ho ho, and he's like, I don't say ho ho ho. That's just something people made up, right? So he's kind of knocking down some of the Santa myths because a lot of our modern Santa myths are very modern. The Coca-Cola Santa, for instance, Coca-Cola is the reason why we have our modern vision of Santa as a big, jolly, fat guy in a red suit. Meanwhile, the original incarnation of Santa, he didn't fit any of those parameters. In fact, I could be wrong, but I remember in Christmas Carol, one of my favorite Christmas stories. I've seen multiple versions of it in movies and such. The Ghost of Christmas Present is apparently more what Santa looked like back in the day, how people envisioned him. So there. Other things how his sleigh works, how the reindeer works, how his the magic he uses. Remember in the Tim Allen movie, The Santa Claus, when he would go down the chimney, his body would morph down and shrink. With this Santa, he kind of turns into a magical wind and flies down the chimney. All this kind of cool stuff that they've put in the mythos and all this stuff. So I like how they build that up, and that's really kind of a cool part of the film. Now, one of the things... Snake Plissken is Santa. Now, one of the things that does hold the movie back is that it does have that TV movie kind of sheen to it.
I was going to say shitty CGI elves.
Yeah, here's the thing. Let's get into that. You see these in the trailers. You can see it on the poster. The elves look like an elf fucked a chipmunk of Alvin and the Chipmunks. They look like some kind of weird, furry hybrid.
Yup.
They're kind of cute, but weird. And the main problem is I feel like this is another attempt by a studio to create their own minions. And by minions, I mean the little yellow dudes from the Despicable Me franchise.
I know what you mean.
I know what you mean. Not everyone out there in the world, they know what I mean. I mean, it's a small handful of people who would know because, fucking Illumination, fucking shows those minions on every fucking ad. Those minions are even in advertisements for the films they're not even fucking in.
There's porn for them. There's minion porn. That's when you know something is a cultural icon.
You know what? There's a part of me that wants to go, are you serious? There's minion porn? But I'm on porn sites often enough to know that there's porn for everything.
Rule 34?
What?
Is that Rule 34? If there's something that exists on the internet, there is then a porn version of that on the internet.
Yeah. There's a Jurassic Park porn. The current Jurassic Park, in which the Chris Pratt character fucks the Bryce Dallas Howard character while he fucks Blue, the raptor character.
Yep.
I wanted to watch it, but I didn't. And I'm proud of myself for not. I just want to put that out there. I held it together. Thank you for that. Thank you for that clap. Okay. All right, so yeah, the elves are weird. The CGI on them, not that impressive. The CGI for the reindeer, actually a little bit better. It wasn't too bad, and there's moments in the movie where one of the characters is petting one of the reindeer, and honestly, it actually did look like that the human character was petting something solid. So that's kind of weird how the CGI kind of varies depending on what they do. The sleigh flying through the sky wasn't too bad. Once again, I'm trying to grade this on a level of because it is somewhere between TV movie and feature film, right? I could tell there was some effort put into the production design because at one point we get to see Santa's not the whole workshop but sections of it, and it's a full blown set and it looks great. The set looks great. All the costuming, Santa's outfit looks really good. So yeah, it's not got the budget that you would have hoped. I mean, it's Netflix. I know they're working their way up.
It's Netflix doing a Christmas movie. I'll bet you this had a bigger budget than Michael Boulé's Christmas special, which was surprisingly good. Yeah.
Okay.
No, our good friend Liz Mohan recommended it to myself, and a year. I forget if it's actually the Christmas or Valentine's Day special, because you on Netflix, a streaming service, you put it out around that time, it kind of splurges over. But the premise is essentially that Santa is not going to do Christmas because there aren't enough children. So
aren't enough children who believe or are being nice.
There just aren't enough children to give toys to. So I think it's Michael Bolton, not Michael Boulé. It is Michael. So then Michael Bolton has to do a love-making telethon to cause couples to have enough kids so that Santa.
Oh, this is a joke. This is a joke show.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I was like, how can there not be enough kids for him to get off his fat ass?
No, it was a lot of fun. High points. High points are Andy Samberg playing Kenny G. And then at some point, Kenny G's actually there playing a janitor.
Okay.
But Vince, how what would you tell our viewers with Netflix prescriptions? Prescriptions, subscriptions? What our viewers who have Netflix? What would you? What do you think? Would you be like, hey, yeah, watch this Christmas movie, even if you have spare time where there's no one else around, and you can decide exactly what you do? I know that was very specific.
Here's the thing: the rest of the movie is kind of pretty standard. Like the story of the kids who got their first time without their parents. they're fine. A lot of the acting in the film is okay. The real highlight of the film is Kurt Russell as Santa. So it's at the point where is it worth it just to see Kurt Russell as Santa? I'm gonna say yes. I like once again, this isn't a great movie, but because of Kurt Russell's portrayal of Santa, he really just makes the film worth seeing. So if you gotta want to sit down with your kids, nothing too big, that's what you got. So yeah, I'm gonna give a recommendation to the Christmas Chronicles starring Kurt Russell. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this comes to the end of the episode. Thank you all for tuning in tonight on the live stream. For those of you listening on the podcast, thank you for checking out our show on the River's Edge. If you do enjoy the show, please consider contributing to our Patreon, patreon.com/POVincent. But until next time, guys, thank you for viewing things through our point of view. Take it easy.